When I was 7 years old, besides playing baseball and picking my nose, I was watching television because, you know, I'm an early 2000s kid. I grew up with TV. I didn't have all the streaming stuff that all the kids have now. I was pretty much raised on TV. I watched SpongeBob. I watched iCarly, Drake and Josh, all of the best shows. They just don't make shows like that anymore. And one of the biggest shows that I remember watching, and one of the biggest creators of the shows I remember watching, it was R.L. Stine. I watched a lot of his TV shows. His shows were like often kind of scary, and also like Goosebumps wasn't that scary, but we're talking about possibly one of the scariest kids shows ever made today. The Haunting Hour. This one actually has a bunch of episodes that actually made me like crap myself when I was little. Like, yeah, too much information, but you know, I'm being serious.
I have a right to review this because I was in the Goosebumps fan club whenever I was little. I have a Slappy the Dummy watch right here. I don't know if you could see him. Yeah, there you go. You can see him. But anyways, without further ado, let's get into the reviews.
I beg Central.
In Walls, we follow Jeffrey and his family. They're new on the block, and they just purchased a new house. Perfect setup for something to go horribly wrong. The parents are like, honestly, kind of just off immediately. Like, what is up with these two? And Jeffrey, you know, just like every other show, he's not a fan of moving. He's not a fan of having a new house. His dad decides to take him up to his room, and bro, what the heck? There's literally still a crypt in there. This house is already like giving the creepiest vibes imaginable, and it doesn't help that there are like hundreds of little lambs staring at you on the walls. When Jeffrey and his dad make it back outside, literally every single kid like spawned across the street, and they're just staring at him. Like, not, they're just all staring at him.
You should go say hi. Come on, don't be such a wuss.
Ain't no way his dad just did him like that. After getting bullied by his father, Jeffrey decides to walk across the street. What a bunch of rude little...
Hey, I'm Jeffrey. Chuck.
Close enough. Welcome back, Chowder. A little bit later, Jeffrey gets woken up by a bunch of creaking and a bunch of noises around the house. But then Jeffrey decides to look under his bed, and he's absolutely flabbergasted, appalled, skiddly-winked, some might say. Jeffrey skedaddles out of his room and screams at his parents that something is under his bed. But this is a my dog ate my homework situation. Your parents just ain't gonna believe you, little bro. After Jeffrey tells him what happened, his dad decides to, you know, take him back to his room. Jeffrey, you just got pranked, bro. So we fast forward a little later in the night, and Jeffrey is finally fast asleep. And little bro's looking pretty comfy, I'm not gonna lie. Ew, bro, what even is that? Ew.
Too bright.
Did he just steal his nightlight? The next morning, his mom and dad are found waiting for him to wake up. They got breakfast ready, pancakes, blueberry syrup. That actually sounds really good.
What would you say to a sauna in the master bathroom?
I would say,
Jeffrey finds that the syrup is missing for some reason. When his mom opens the cover, it's right there. And he says he must have missed it. He must be colorblind or something's afoot here. I don't know.
Guess I didn't see it.
They sit around and eat breakfast, and to be honest, everything in their life seems like it's going well. It's going perfectly. Like, their jobs are paying well. They're talking about all these expensive things they're gonna buy. This is truly a bless this mess and a live, laugh, love household for real. Unless you're Jeffrey, because he just gets picked on all the time. After breakfast, Jeffrey goes outside to play with a bunch of cardboard boxes. Okay. And Chowder decides to come up and bother Jeffrey again.
I know what you're trying to do with this whole haunted house thing, but you're wasting your breath.
He's been mogging and mewing like he's truly an alpha now. But Chowder drops some lore on us and tells us about an old man who used to live there and how he was obsessed with getting sugar.
He was feeding the walls. 2 weeks later, they found him completely naked, face down in a pile of sugar. Okay, he wasn't naked, but he was dead.
What the sigma? Jeffrey goes back inside and starts playing in his room because he's tired of Chowder's freaky talk. And we get a wall POV of something watching him through the wall, through one of the lamb's eyes, man. This is some serious Dr. Disrespect stuff. Jeffrey heard some sounds from the walls and he decides to investigate. Not a good idea. Not a good idea. And of course, when the parents come around, everything goes back to normal. They debunk it as the house settling. Jeffrey's mom decides to actually go into his room to check it out, but she kind of crashes out because the cake that she was talking about making has been eaten, and it was found in Jeffrey's closet. But Jeffrey didn't even eat any cake, bro. Like, he didn't eat it.
I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy.
Nah, because this actually still freaks me out. What the heck? Apparently, the thing in the walls has been deciding to phantom tax Jeffrey out of all of his belongings. So, you know, all of his stuff is back in the wall. So Jeffrey tries digging in the wall. He tries opening it up, making a bigger hole so he can reach his arm through. Yeah, no, I'd probably just die right there. I'm not gonna lie.
Tell anyone about me, I'll take your parents. I'll take them.
Honestly, where could he take his parents to? He lives in the walls. Would he just take them in the walls and just? I don't know how that would. But the thing is still scary. It's still. I probably wouldn't say anything either because I would be too scared that I would, something bad would happen. Fast forward to the next day, and they're still freaky. Everything goes well again, but he goes for the syrup.
More syrup.
So Jeffrey goes to the store to buy more syrup, and on his way back, he meets back up with Chowder, and he tells him his plan of how he's going to start feeding the thing syrup. Chowder gives Jeffrey the idea of poisoning the syrup to get rid of the thing entirely.
Time to change the flavor of that syrup.
Jeffrey makes it back to his house and places the syrup in the place where it normally is. The dad is making waffles in the middle of the day, and he... Wait, what?
Jeffrey!
More syrup.
So Jeffrey goes back to Chowder, and Chowder for some reason has all these different plans of attack. He has a book about demons and monsters. He's got like all these tools in his garage of how to defeat him. I mean, this guy's just strapped. Chowder, you might be pretty cool after all. They get back to the house, and Jeffrey and Chowder, they find a hidden doorway in his closet where the thing just gets out all the time. How do they find it? But I guess they made it. Jeffrey decides to go in alone.
I'll wait here.
Just kidding. Chowder chickens out. So the guy takes his syrup and he's like, yeah, syrup, yeah. And then Jeffrey pulls out a fire extinguisher and blasts him away. And then some cat and mouse action happens, and Jeffrey gets caught by the syrup skinwalker. Parents get in there just in time, but they knew about wait, what? They knew about the creature the whole time? Yeah, so the parents bought the house because they wanted to have the creature there. The creature feature, it made them happy. Like they wanted to protect him. They wanted to keep him safe. This is like a new thing for them. They wanted this to happen.
You guys knew all along?
Of course we knew. Comets bring good fortune.
I'm so confused right now. In this episode, we follow Will, and he's obsessed with this girl named Anna.
My question is, where are we gonna get our Halo on?
You can definitely tell this came out in 2011. On the way home from school, some weird things happen to Will, and like fog rolls in, dogs are barking, and then all of a sudden, after he gets bullied by Travis and Chang, they run away. And a guy named Jake Skinner shows up. And after we saw how he was eyeing Will's girl and whipping out a brush all cool like, we know something's up with this guy. He's not a normal fella. He's not a normal dude. He's not really a chill guy. The next day, we see Will listening to Anna talk about the upcoming school dance. And he keeps trying to talk to her. He keeps trying to ask her out, but it's almost like he's invisible. I feel you, bro.
Anna!
When he finally works up the courage to ask her, Travis and Chang strike again. And right in front of everybody too. Like this is just cruel punishment right here. Will wishes that just once he could get back at them. He could get back at the pranksters, the bullies.
I told you.
Literally a second later, Jake appears. He asks if Will would want to make a deal, a favor for a favor, if you will. And then he just walks away and once again whips out his brush. I mean, I'll give it to him. This dude's got aura, for sure. The next day, we follow Will and the rest of his class on a field trip, and Travis and Chang are there.
That's poison ivy. You can tell by the 3 leaves.
They walk a little bit, and then they come across what appears to be a dead body. And it turns out to be Jake. He scares Travis and Chang half to death. After they run off, Jake asks if Will would want him to kick it up a notch, and Will agrees, and then he does. I don't think this is gonna end well, Will. I don't think it's gonna end well for you, buddy. Anna seems to be shaken up as well, but Will lets her know that it was just a joke, and she doesn't seem to know who Jake is. And he finally gets the courage to ask her out to the spring fling, the dance. And then they hear Travis screaming, and everyone finds him shaken up in the fetal position. A little baby. He's just a little baby. The next day, Travis actually doesn't even show up to school. That's how scared he was. Whatever he saw Jake do, it just shook him up really bad. What exactly did bro see out there? As Anna and Will are talking about the incident in the woods, a janitor actually overhears them talking about Jake Skinner. And he tells Will that Jake died in 1961? Oh, I see what's going on now. So Will looks for the class of 1961, and lo and behold, Jake Skinner, pictured right there on the trophy in a trophy case. And immediately, Jake appears right behind Will. And Will no longer wants any help. He doesn't want Jake's help because he's a dead dude. He's a dead guy. And, he's probably racist or something.
But I'm having so much fun.
This guy in his hair, bro. Just stop, bro. It's already brushed. It's perfect. Will wants some answers, so he goes and talks to the janitor again, and it's revealed that Jake actually used to get pranked and bullied a lot. And Jake actually died due to a prank pulled by somebody else. And also, whatever happened to James? After this, it seems that Will gets trapped in some kind of past vision or something, like he's stuck in some kind of like other dimension. Will notices that on the wall, the picture is no longer Obama. And I guess Jake is showing him exactly what happened to him. He shows him how he died. Jake was trapped in a fire, and the bullies just left him to perish in the flames. This was what Jake was talking about. The part of the deal that he needed to uphold was basically to save Jake. But it turns out, they essentially traded places. And Jake leaves Will to die. And the episode ends with Jake dancing with his girl.
Now we're even. I'll always be right here, right now.
So in this one, we sort of start off with, what the heck is going on?
There you are.
Nah, bro, I'm out. In this one, we follow Chris. Tomorrow is his 13th birthday, and while his dad is yapping about it, a flyer catches his eye. And, I'm sorry, how is that not terrifying?
You're gonna notice different things about your body, and I don't want you to...
This does not feel like the appropriate time to have this conversation, though. And then his friends show up, so they ditch his dad. They end up going up to this girl's house that Chris really likes. Apparently there are some high schoolers there, like, talking to her, and there's one dude there trying to date her, it looks like? Nah, because this is some serious super senior behavior right here.
What's the haps, dude?
Hey, Finch, what's up?
You know, just chilling.
Okay, L Wingman. So Danica actually invites them to go to the creepy clown show that we saw before on the flyer. And Chris declines because he's too afraid of clowns. After what happened to him as a kid, he just won't even go near them anymore. Even if the girl I liked most was inviting me to a clown show, there's no way I'd be going, dude. It would just be too bad. It'd be too scary. I'd be like, why can't we just go to, like, the fair or something? Why do we gotta go to, like, the clown show? What? I don't want to do that. Did I mention I hate clowns? So we fast forward to them throwing rocks at some billboard. And can you guess what's all over the billboard? I bet you would never be able to guess. His friend is picking on Chris for being afraid of clowns. And how he should just get over it. He's just move on from it. He shouldn't be afraid anymore. And after Chris says he doesn't want to go, he's just too scared, his friend ditches him and actually goes to the clown show right then and there. Just leaves him there. Wow. What a great friend. We cut to Chris being on his way home, and a blue car actually starts to follow him. After a minute, Chris confronts the blue car, and
Hey, Chris.
Oh heck no. No, and all these clowns know his name? What the heck? They actually end up following him all the way home, and he tries to explain to his dad that he's being stalked by these super scary clowns, but his dad just keeps on insisting that he needs to talk about his body changing. He needs to talk about, why does he keep bringing this up? Like, just help your son, bro. He's dealing with something right now.
Your body is going through some changes. It's totally normal. Dad.
So Chris just lays down on his bed, and we cut to a dream sequence. This is a terrible dream. I would want to wake up so fast. This is awful. He wakes up and surprise, surprise, it's his 13th birthday. He's now a teenager. And his crush, Danica, actually shows up to the door and gives him a birthday card. Bro, she wants you. He opens it up and there's a ticket to Captain Crazy's clown show. And this time, Chris reluctantly goes. Bad idea, man. No girl is worth going. No girl is worth this. I promise. So they get to the circus for fair thing. I don't know what this is. Is this just a clown show? Are they just going? They're just clowns here. Okay. And Chris is a bundle of nerves. Chris is stressing out. Like, no cap, bro. And it doesn't help that the super senior is sharing cotton candy with Danica. But Danica comes up and talks to Chris. She really wanted him to be there, which makes Chris feel a little bit better. So they get into the show after a bit of a struggle, if you could call it that. This was hard to watch. Show begins, and literally the scariest clown on earth comes out, and it turns out to be Captain Crazy. This dude is nightmare fuel. And Captain Crazy actually wants to pick a volunteer from the audience. Do you see where this is going? So Chris tries to escape, but he gets captured. So he puts him in a box, and Captain Crazy gives him a little hint of what's going on here.
This is all for you, Chris. It's all for you.
They spin him around in this box like a bunch of times. What is going on right now? After all the spinning's done, the box opens, and Chris has made his transformation. So he runs backstage and he tries to get the makeup off because he's become his worst fear. This is just too much for him. But it's no use. He is now a clown. And it turns out, so were his parents. This is what his dad was trying to prepare him for. This is what his dad meant by his body is changing.
You can also get jiggy and shake.
I don't know how they were allowed to have this on air for kids. Like back then, I was 7 years old whenever they were making these episodes. I was that kid. that they were making it for. And I watched it every single Saturday that they came out. I was so excited for a new Haunting Hour to drop. But it's really cool going back and looking at these now. I honestly don't know how I was not more scared. We have not even scratched the surface of what, like, some of these episodes have. So if you guys want to see me review more Haunting Hour stuff, more Goosebumps stuff, The Nightmare Room is another one that he did, another show that I watched a little bit. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah. The hour is haunted.